Good evening. It's Monday, December 27th. Um, I'm going to talk about making free stuff. Okay, so as a potter, as any artist, um, sometimes people will want your work for free. Whether that's, family members or friends or, I don't know, often it's charities, they want to do art auctions or whatever. Oh, here, and in other contexts, they talk about, ooh, free exposure and yeah, whatever. On the other hand, this is the time of year when I have or make free stuff. Okay. And I've got the sort of three categories of it. So the first, obviously, are the gifts I've made for people or chosen out of my stock. I look at something that I didn't make with them in mind, but I go, oh, that would work for so and so. Okay, so that's normal. That comes at any stage. Um, and hopefully you're paying attention to how many of those you've given to a particular person and say the density of the storage in their kitchens. There comes a point, no matter how much you love your parents, where you stop giving them more pots. Um, the second is one I've talked about before, and that's base is a tradition I've done for myself, where I will pick a local business entity, figure out how many employees they have, and give each of those employees, I mean, not in any ceremony or anything, but give a coffee cup to them all. Um, and you have to be careful, what companies you choose and potentially remember if you've done it before and whatever. But, so for instance, the first one I did was to my local branch of the credit union, and it was 7 employees. No big deal. One year, I mistakenly did the public library, thinking that there was only 15 to 20 of them, and it turned out there were 55 of them because of all the roles that the public doesn't see in other parts of the building. That one was a little harder, so do your research. And part of what I do that for is I want to encourage my local outfits, particularly the ones that have been good to me over the year. Um, and I also intentionally wanted to get away from the idea that everything I made had a dollar value unless nobody bought it, in which case it was worthless. So there comes a point, particularly around Christmas, I'm feeling generous, but I also just need to get away from the crash commercialism of selling art. So I give some away. And then in this town, we have a Super Bowl fundraiser, which is the Saturday before that big football game. And people go to the art center, and there are 500 to 800 bowls on display available for purchase. And in better times, you would also get a sort of lunch with it, soup and a roll and so forth. I don't think they do that in these plague days, but I could be wrong. I haven't checked in. And that one turned into a larger commitment for me, in part because one year, somehow my birthday was a holiday. Well, it's a holiday, but I had the day off, and it was a Friday. So I got the crazy idea to go into the lobby of the Art Center and, in honor of my 54th birthday, throw 54 bowls. Which was a great idea, except that it takes me more than a day to trim them, and so by Sunday night I was pretty cranky and tired and so forth. But I still have it in my head that it's, a bowl per year, only I don't make them all on the same day anymore. Often they're the bowls that over the course of the year didn't sell, plus some bowls made with my reclaimed clay, which I'm never quite as confident in as the fresh clay, and so on. So I'm leading in now this will be the first Saturday in February, to needing to make some more bowls. I've already taken them some unsold bowls from the previous year, and I need to make up the difference. And this is all internally driven, but I want to get them 63 bowls. I think it's a good cause. And the absence of those sales will not do me any harm. And psychologically, for you, maybe it doesn't do you any harm either. I think it also helps for me that I limit this sort of thing. So it makes it easier to say no to things the rest of the year. The rest of the year, I need to focus. I need to do what I need to do. And not give everything away and so forth. So I limit it. There is one additional thing. So one of the things I discovered about free bowls or free pots, depending on the emotional thing, is I think they break more easily. Certainly inexpensive ones do. So there was a point where my work was actually a little underpriced, and I kept getting stories of breakage. And so I did what was a price increase. Plus, I probably consciously tried to make things a little sturdier. And magically, the pots started surviving better. I think the customers took better care of them when their loss was, a $20 bill and not a $5 bill, if you get my meaning. So that's the other thing with free objects is that, potentially, because they were free, the person receiving them doesn't value them as much. I don't know. That one's tricky. I'll have to do a little more research on that. In the meantime, have a good evening.